A sweeping mass of gold light grew out of thin air, growing brighter. It was so bright that Drake was forced to shield his eyes. It shot towards Drake, rolling like waves in the ocean and completely shattering the defense Drake had created. The light fell. "All right," Drake soothed. "I guess it's hand to hand then." "I guess it is," Reuben smiled back. Drake walked forwards, arms open almost in a welcoming manner. Reuben curled his fists, ready to strike. "Hold it," Lucas suddenly hissed. The fire in Reuben's palms went out. "What is it?" he asked nervously. Lucas craned his neck. He spied a figure, a distance away, entering the grounds. She pulled back a section of the fence and clambered through. Reuben and Drake came to the window. "It's Lorelei," Drake said as he recognized her. "Damn it," Lucas hissed. "I told her not to come here. Doesn't she know it's dangerous?" "She must have known we'd be here," Reuben said. "No," Lucas retorted. "She's guessing. She has no idea whether or not we would be here today. How many times does she come here when we're not?" Drake slunk away from the window, sighing with disappointment that their games had been interrupted. "I guess we'd better go meet her." They descended the stairs, meeting her at the reception as she was entering the building. "I knew I'd find you here," she cried triumphantly at the sight of them. "No, you didn't," Lucas droned, arms crossed. The three stopped before her. "What the hell are you doing here, Lorelei?" Lucas asked her impatiently. Lorelei made a pouting face at him. "There's no need to be like that," she huffed. "I came down all this way to see you all. Don't you know it's dangerous here? Don't you?" Lucas dismissed this with a wave. "What are you doing here anyway?" she asked them all. "You know I'm beginning to get suspicious, all this sneaking around. It's like you're holding a secret meeting or something. What's really going on?" "Mind your own business," Lucas spat. She stuck her tongue out and turned her back on him, speaking to the others like he no longer mattered. "So do you want to hang out or what?" "Sure." Drake smiled at her. "Come on, let's get out of here before a gang shows up and tries to kill us all." "Oh, don't," she whined, swatting at him. "You know I hate it when you scare me like that." "It's true," Reuben added, standing to her other side. "In fact, just last week we saw a dead hobo. Now you're making fun of me." Lorelei frowned in irritation. Drake took her by the arm and led her away. Reuben shrugged at his brother as Lucas gave him a skeptical look. "Come on, let's go." "I suppose we've had enough fun for one day anyway," Reuben said. "We barely even started," Lucas tutted. "Ever since she found out we come here, she's always trying to find us. It's annoying. Why doesn't she just go home?" "Shush," Reuben hissed. "Don't say that. She might hear you." Lucas gave his brother a bored look, but said nothing. "We're not the only ones who don't always want to go home," Reuben told him in a whisper. "Why doesn't she hang out with her own friends?" Lucas complained. "Who knows? Maybe she's attracted to us." Lucas groaned at his brother's idiot response as he walked away. Reuben smirked and jogged to catch up with him. "Do you think we can come back here tomorrow?" "Probably," Lucas replied. "We'll have to skip college again to avoid Lorelei, though." Jacob knelt in the grass, examining the strange markings in the dirt. The busy footpath of the park could be seen not too far away from where he was. There were mostly students in sight, taking a shortcut home like he had been, but something had drawn him from the path and to this secluded spot. Everything had seemed normal on this day, except for what Jacob was about to find. He moved past the strange marking that looked like scuff marks from a boot, and further into the bushes, Jacob pushed back a pile of fallen leaves that looked like they had been deliberately collected together to hide something. He ran his fingers along the earth as he noticed something that glinted. Jacob brushed the dirt away with the back of his hand. Gripping the object protruding from the vegetation, he lifted it up, marvelling at it. It seemed to be a staff of some kind. It was short and silver in colour, with wings that curved around a sort of dome at its head. "What the hell is this?" He turned it over. It was engraved with an inscription which ran along its side. "Where I fight, I live." What the hell is that supposed to mean? Jacob turned it over to examine it again, when a sudden and sinister voice caught him off guard. "I see you've found my weapon." Jacob spun round in alarm, startled that he had been snuck up on like that, so engrossed he had been in his find. He hesitated. His heart began to race as he drew a deep breath. The man that stood before him was unlike any he had seen before. A normal human, but dressed in the most peculiar fashion. He was dressed only in 3 long stripes of cloth, one yellow, one orange, and one red. They wound over his whole body, tied in knots here and there. The ends trailed loosely from his arms and knees. His eyes were both milky white. "Who are you?" "Who am I, you ask?" the stranger replied. He stepped towards Jacob, brushing back strands of hair delicately with a nail. They were 6 inches long and coloured a deep, dark purple. From beneath his black fringe, Jacob saw that there was an unusual sort of metallic plate that ran across the stranger's forehead, like a sort of bandana. From one side of the plate, hanging down in 3 separate chains, were a line of metallic stars. The stranger moved closer, uncomfortably so, but shock and uncertainty had frozen Jacob to the spot. The man brushed Jacob's cheek with his nail, caressing him almost lovingly, like a mother would to her son. Jacob felt a twinge in his stomach, a feeling of unease. Was he safe here? "War brings out my spirit," the stranger said. "It's who I am. It is who you will become." He smiled, but Jacob could read nothing into it. Was it kind? Was it cruel? "My name is Venom. I have been watching you closely for many weeks now. I think you are the one." The one?" Jacob stammered, breaking his silence. He snapped back to himself, slapping the stranger's hand away and stepping back. "Don't touch me." Venom faltered for a moment, then regained his original demeanour. He smiled again, this time almost seductively. "My dear boy, I bestow upon you a great gift. I think you'll like it. You'll see." Venom moved closer again. He embraced Jacob like a brother, holding him close. "Now your eyes will truly be open." Jacob felt a surge of energy shooting through his body like an electric shock. He was enveloped in a great pain that ceased as fast as it had begun. His body felt alive, powerful. He felt liberation. Jacob suddenly saw an image then. A world he had never known. It was vast, with miles and miles of open plains and woodland, and near the coast was a great city made of stone, and at its heart a mighty palace. Jacob let out a gasp, stumbling back and away from Venom as he was released. "I," Venom spoke, "am a guardian, and I pass my powers on to you now." Jacob collapsed, weak and shaking. "Farewell," the man said to him, turning away. "We will not meet again."